Well, hello there. Thanks for joining us. It is generally known that in order for you to work in Canada, you require a work permit. But what exactly does it mean to work? What is the definition of work for immigration purposes? And so we're going to be sharing information on this with you. So please stay with us. We'll be right back after the break. And as always, remember to like our videos so others may see more videos like this. Subscribe to our channel so that you may get more videos like this when we publish. And check us out on our website at go.gooselaw.com. I'll be right back. Welcome back. My name is Donovan Francis and I'm an immigration lawyer, and I help skilled workers who are inside Canada and those who are outside Canada to become Canadian permanent residents without having to deal with all of the complicated immigration rules that are part of that process. Now, most people know that in order for you to come to Canada to work, you must first get issued a work permit. All right? Canada's immigration rules generally require persons wanting to come to Canada to work to be issued work permits. Of course, there are some exceptions to that general rule. For instance, persons are able to come to Canada and work temporarily for periods of 15 consecutive days or even 30 consecutive days within a 1-year period without a work permit. That fits under the what's called the short-term work permit exemption. Okay, so there are persons who may be able to come to Canada and work without an actual work permit, but the general rule is that you will require a work permit if you're coming here to work. But how do you know that the activities you're actually coming to Canada to do is actually work? For instance, if you are employed in your home country, and that job allows you to work remotely, and you decide that you're going to be making a trip to Canada, you're going to be vacationing in Canada for a month or 2 months. And during that time, you will be carrying out the activities, the work activities that you normally do for your job in your home country. Chances are the activities you'll be carrying out in Canada, even though you'll technically be doing your work, may not fit into the definition of work as it is defined under Canada's immigration law, and as such you are likely going to be allowed to carry out those activities. Again, activities being done where you are conducting your work in your home country, but you're doing it remotely while you are temporarily here in Canada. That kind of work, even though you're working, is likely not going to fit into the definition of work for Canadian immigration purposes. So then, given that, what exactly does it mean to work? And so we'll start by looking at the immigration authorities' own definition of work. And so we see here that work is defined in the regulations, that is in the immigration regulations, in the laws, as an activity for which wages are paid or commission earned, and that competes directly with activities of Canadian citizens or permanent residents in the labor market. Okay, so what it means is that you must be there are two things. So the work you're doing, you must be receiving wages for it, wages or a commission, or it may be an activity that's competing with the activities for which Canadians would ordinarily have been engaged in the labor market. All right. What this means is that you may be in a position where the activities you're carrying out here are being paid by an employer who is outside of Canada. Even so, that does not negate the possibility that the activities may still be work. The critical thing in that instance is whether or not what you're doing is interfering or intervening in the Canadian labor market. Okay, so wages again includes remuneration or pay that's received for service or labor delivered. Okay, so if you're receiving wages, then that's going to be one sign. If what you're doing competes directly, then that's going to be another sign. It does not have to be both. It can be one or the other. So by competing directly with Canadians in the Canadian labor market, it means that pretty much the question is, will you be doing an activity, right, that a Canadian permanent resident should really have been doing? So if the activities you're carrying out are activities that somebody inside Canada really should have been doing, then that's going to be the first sign telling you that what you're wanting to do in Canada is actually going to be work as far as the immigration definition is concerned. You know, the next question is, will you be engaging in business activity that is competitive in the marketplace? Meaning, will your activities here take away the opportunity from a Canadian permanent resident or a Canadian citizen to do something similar? And if the answer to those questions is yes, then it's going to mean that you will fit into the definition of work. Now, it's very important to note that there are instances where you could in fact be carrying out activities that you're not being paid for, but which nevertheless fit into the definition of work. You know, so somebody who is here for work in order to obtain work experience, you know, such as on an internship and a practicum, and you're not being paid any remuneration for that, that still will likely fit into the category of work, because what it means is that you would be taking away the opportunity to gain work experience from a Canadian. You know, you'll be taking away the opportunity to be involved in an internship or practicum from a Canadian permanent resident or a Canadian citizen. And by virtue of that, that then would fit into the definition of work, and you therefore would require a work permit in order to carry out those activities. All right. Of course, there will be activities that do not fit into that definition, and where that is the case, then those activities will not require a work permit. And so somebody who's coming to volunteer work for which a person would not normally be remunerated. You know, so if you're coming to do work that even if a Canadian were doing it, they would not have been paid, you know, charitable work and so on and so forth, then it's possible that that kind of work, that those kinds of activities rather, do not fit into the definition of work, and so on and so forth. And you can find a listing of the types of the other types of activities which do not fit into the broad definition of work as outlined in the immigration regulations. All right, so there you have it, an indication of what constitutes work for Canadian immigration purposes, and by virtue of that, what types of activities would require you to apply for a work permit in order to carry them out inside Canada, and which activities you may actually carry out inside Canada without the need to seek authorization from the immigration authorities. Okay, so I hope I was able to shed some light on that question for you. And as always, remember to like this video so others may see more videos like this. Subscribe to our channel so others will, so you will see more videos like this. And check us out on our website at go.gooselaw.com. Thanks for joining us. See you again next time.